this is the first time I'm going to be doing one of these, so we're just gonna jump right into it. This is an unscripted video. I just want to get that off the start. I just want to toss my hat into the ring of FNAF review videos because I went and I saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movie earlier this week, and I thought that it was amazing. I honestly thought it was amazing. I thought it was one of the better game to movie adaptations out there. I think it was a better, I think it's up there between, like, you know, the Mario movie and a couple other games to movie adaptations. Because games to movies, I'm not talking about shows, by the way. Shows, they have a little bit more leeway and they should be able to convey a game to show better than game to movie. So I always give game to movies a little bit of a pass when it comes to storytelling and pacing, because usually games have a lot more information they have to cram down your throat than a lot of other series and other games and other shows, because shows can take their time, you know? Shows can have like 4 40-minute episodes. That's already a movie length, but that's only like part of like the first season to convey a point, you know? So they're able to take it a lot slower. So I don't like doing game to show, but game to movie, I think the Five Nights at Freddy's is like one of the best ones. I just think it is. I think through the storytelling, what it was trying to tell was like the lore, but I'm glad they didn't go down the direct route of the lore. Okay, we'll save that for the spoiler section before I continue further. This will be the non-spoiler section. So, parts of the movie were very good. The main cast is very enjoyable to watch. The older brother, Michael character, is a very, very relatable. He's a very good character. So you can kind of feel what he's feeling throughout the entire movie. They do a really good job with his character, and he does everything pretty well. I only have like a couple issues with the cop character. I think they already announced her name, so but just in case they didn't, I'm not gonna say it.
The police searched Freddy's top to bottom.
Hello?
But I had a few issues with the cop character. We'll get into that in the spoiler section. I think Matthew Lillard's character was great. He was amazing. I wish they could have done just a little bit more with his character, if you know what I mean. But it's kind of understandable because they had to do a lot. And this movie is just like the games and the books. There is a lot of stuff that you are going to miss. I don't think this is a one-time watch movie. I think you need to watch it multiple different times in order to understand, well, not understand, but in order to see all the background, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that you might not pick up on. So if you love little Easter eggs and background scenes, I feel like this is like a really fantastic movie to just dig your teeth in and find lots of Easter eggs in the background. All right, well, I'm going to go to the spoiler section now. So, spoilers! Because there's a lot, and I want to talk a lot about the spoilers. But before I go fully on, I guess I'll give my rating for the movie. It's like a 9 out of 10 for me. So I'm just gonna give it the nice little stamp of 9 out of 10. Kaboom! The 9 out of 10 thorn spikes. Ah, it's beautiful. Okay. Now we're moving on to the spoilers. If you haven't seen it, this is your chance to click off the video, because you don't want to get spoiled. That's completely understandable. And if you can't see it until DVD, I've used to be one of those people where I wouldn't be able to watch movies until they came out to DVD, so I understand. So please pause or click off the video and come back at a later point, you know? All right. if you haven't clicked off by now, it's time to delve into the spoilers. The most juicy spoilers there ever was. Yes, of course. Well, let's start from the very beginning. I like how they... Like, I didn't understand why Michael was punching the guy in the opening scene. But I think it was great because it conveys that he thought that person was going to kidnap that child, which if you, like when you get halfway through the movie, you're like, oh my gosh, it's because his brother was the one that was taken. So when he thought that kid was getting taken, he felt like it was his brother. It comes back. Like everything in this movie, like comes back, and it's like comes back in a beautiful circle. The horror, I guess, let me go on to the bad parts of the movie. Let's get the bad parts out of the way. The horror aspect, the jump scares. There wasn't a lot of jump scares in this movie, but it's completely understandable. I mean, how are you going to make the giant animatronics do a jump scare animation without it looking horrifically CGI fested, you know? Like... I think the jump scares you got with the animatronics were pretty decent. Sure, they could be better. Maybe filmed at different angles. I think it was mainly an angling issue with the jump scares. But that was for like maybe one or two of them, and that would be it. But every balloon boy jump scare got me. So, I mean, they probably knew that their jump scares weren't going to be up to like what they probably wanted, but they still wanted people to be thrilled and jumped at times. So I feel like that's why Balloon Boy was in there, to catch people off guard, because you weren't expecting him. You were just not. You weren't. Yeah, which every single time he was on screen, he got me. I think the other time I got jumped was the Freddy scene. Yeah, the bite, the chomp. The chompy chomp, the halfway split down half middle style, kaboom kabang. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. I think everybody was with me. We thought that they were just gonna chomp the head and we get like one gruesome scene. It was worse. It was a whole half. Bam, sliced in half, chomped. That was crazy. I didn't even think that was gonna happen, but that was awesome. Every scene with Foxy was really good and well done. He has a really good transitioning scene, and then he has a few hallway scenes. They gave him a lot of hallway scenes, but that makes sense for his character because he's always seen running down the hall. He's the fastest out of all the animatronics, if you don't include Golden Freddy and the Wumbo Jumbo mystical magical fun that they have. But yeah, I think that was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. I thought, like, what they did with the animatronics was pretty cool. Other bad notes. I don't think this is bad storytelling. Some people are saying it's bad storytelling, some aren't. I am on the boat where I don't think it's bad storytelling. I think it was written well. I mean, how else are you gonna convey these giant machines that they're ghost children inside of them? You know, like they wanted to build a fort when Abby, the little girl character, showed up, and they wanted to hang out and build a fort, and they were being friends. And that scene was, in my opinion, supposed to convey the fact that they were still kids at heart, and they hadn't had anybody to play with in a long time, and Abby was like one of the first ones that came by. So that's why they made that deal with Michael, with the dream theory deal, where he would dream. Honestly, no, I think they were just gonna kill him off the start. Like, when they said that he was gonna dream about it, he was gonna dream about it forever. They had no hesitation to try to execute Mike whenever they got the chance. You know, no hesitation whatsoever. But I don't think that was bad. I think that was really good storytelling. wise, I can see why people don't like it, because it's goofy and they want their movie to be dead serious and burn, like, you know, burning and on fire, and they want the ghost children to act like ghost adults and be depressing and all that. But no, you gotta remember, you know, that's not how it works. And I can suspend my belief because, like, I'm an advocate, like, big, huge kaiju fan, so suspending my belief for, like, this was simple. I mean, it was still pretty believable, if not more believable. I think that scene's fine, the fort scene and the Bonnie falling over, because they thought it was funny, so they kept it in the movie. It was funny. It did make me chuckle. It made me go, haha, you know? But then they quickly moved by. Like, they didn't spend as much time on that scene, slash, like, people are dubbing it as the We Are FNAF scene. Like, they didn't spend a lot of time on that scene. They spent, like, 2 minutes out of, like, a 2-hour-long movie on that scene. Like, let's not be ridiculous, you know? But, yeah. Continuing on, right after that scene, they make that deal. And the ghost kids get peeved with Mike as soon as he's like, nah, I can't, I don't want to make that deal. They start attacking. And the really cool part is they can, anything they do in the dream world can affect him in the real world, which is insane. They basically are all little mini Freddy Kruegers if you think about it. I wonder if that has to do with Remnant, or if that's going to come into play soon. There's a lot to go in about in this movie. I'm going to try to keep hip firing these points out. All right, but some other scenes that they had in there is like the vandalism scenes, the Aunt Jane scenes. They had a few cameos. I mean, I got spoiled by one of the cameos. Thanks, Matt Pat. I wish you would have waited at least a week before you posted that video out instead of just the day after. It's kind of rude, but I'm not judging. I just couldn't have seen it opening night, so I guess that's a skill diff on my part. All right. But other than that spoiler, I thought the scene was fine. It was cheesy. It kind of took, I think that one did take me out of the movie. If he didn't say that's just a theory, I don't think that would have taken me out of the movie. I would have been like, oh, cool, Matt Pat. But like, just like him spoiling that scene for me, it kind of made me upset. So that's that. I mean, it's not that bad. I like the scene. It was a good scene. If I didn't get spoiled over it, I think I would have had the same reaction as everybody else. But I got spoiled by him posting the video. I probably should have just unsubscribed from him so I didn't see it, but it popped up because I watch his videos all the time, so I got spoiled. I was kind of also hoping that Mark would be in there, but, you know, he already said he wasn't going to be, but there is a second movie, so he might get that cameo. All the Corey Kenshin cameos were fantastic. I kind of wish we got a little bit more of Corey, but, you know, that's the hopeful thinking, but I thought all of his scenes were great. Especially the one at the end credit scene. That one was awesome. Alright. But, okay, now we're heading towards more of the end of the movie. But I want to go back a little bit and take 2 steps to explain some of the story with Garrett and Michael. Garrett is the little brother that got kidnapped, and people are theorizing that Garrett is the puppet, which I don't know if this is true. This is like one of the things I need to go back and rewatch the movie for, but apparently the puppet can be seen in the background out throughout the entire movie, and I never noticed it. I feel like it's only still frame shots. Other information that supports this is the end music. If you know, you know, and that caught me and all my friends off guard at the end of the movie. That was awesome. It was truly awesome. That is what it is. It was awesome. Also, the "come find me" is what I think it says at the end when it was spelling the words out. So there are definitely going to be Easter eggs in that movie. I think there's going to be a lot more. when it releases on DVD and video. So I wonder if it feels like there's gonna be an extended cut of the movie, like it feels like that. I don't know if that's true, but it just feels like there's more than what we saw, you know. You know how FNAF works. There's always more than meets the eye. But we're time traveling now to the very end of the movie, and surprise, surprise, William Afton was the one that killed Garrett the entire time, along with all the kids. But the kids don't know what happened to them. I think this is mainly due to trauma, because if you have extreme, and I'm talking extreme trauma, your brain tries to cover it up and change what actually happened, which is I know this is gonna sound bad, but like it's kind of the truth to like severe mental health cases. And since they were so traumatized that they died, and all they had was the art, they explained this in the movie earlier, is that pictures with kids that age help them relay stories, because they may not be able to write or speak clearly, but they can convey drawings and they can understand images. Which, I mean, I don't know how true that is. I'm pretty sure that has to have some kind of scientific logic behind it, but you know. So when they finally saw at the end, people were also dubbing this the "We Are FNAF" moment when Abby switches the drawing out for instead of the bunny giving them gifts and holding hands, she switches it to the bunny stabbing them. They all freak out and stuff, which they all definitely knew that's what happened to them, because even earlier in the movie, Abby was talking about how her friends only ever talk about the yellow bunny man and not Michael's little brother, which he was trying to get that information out of them for the longest time and begged and pleaded with them. But you know, I wouldn't say the kids are good or evil. I'd say that they're chaotic neutral. I think that they're angry, you know. We're gonna have to see in the next movie if they get put to rest, because that's kind of the story of FNAF, is like Michael, now that he knows that there's trapped souls there, like who know, I don't know if it'll be Michael again. It could be a different character, but most likely gonna be him again, and he's gonna go on the adventure to put the souls to rest. We don't know if the FNAF 2 animatronics are gonna come into it. We did see Balloon Boy, but people have also said Balloon Boy is in FNAF 1 as a little tiny Easter egg. So same with the marionette. So those two are there. There's a lot in this movie. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go back and I'm definitely have to go back and rewatch it, but I kind of want to wait until I might rewatch it another time in the theater just to see what kind of Easter eggs I missed. But I can't wait to get to the DVD so I can actually get a hold of it and then go frame by frame and like find all the little clues and stuff. And then plus we don't know what kind of extras they're gonna have, or because even in the books, Scott always leaves little extra messages that help you solve the story. Like FNAF has always been this like big Easter egg hunt fest, you know? So I can't wait to get started on that. I really wonder what's going to be inside the DVD cut. I'm hoping that there's going to be an extended cut, and then I'm hoping for really cool Easter eggs in it. I just think that would be awesome. Let's talk about the spring walking at the very end. Also, the cupcake was a menace, a complete menace. The cupcake got like Cupcake and Foxy got the most kills. Bonnie got a kill. Freddy got a kill. Chica didn't got any kills. I mean, she just sent Cupcake, so I guess Chica assisted. Got some assists. Chica's a support character, okay? They're not going for kills. They're just there to, you know, support. But yeah, so spring locking happens by the cupcake going into attack mode and attacks William Afton, or Spring Trap. and it accidentally starts setting off the suit's spring locks. Before, also, the suit was short-circuited because Michael shot it with the taser. So it was already starting to short circuit, which is the reasoning behind why when the cupcake attacked it, I think the spring locking happened instead of it being a wet area and rusted. Because the suit was well kept. The spring bodysuit was very well kept. It was missing an ear, you know, as the iconic look, but other than that, it was basically mint condition. So yeah, I can understand why they went, instead of getting it wet, they went with, you know, short-circuiting it with the taser and the cupcake attack, which was really cool because we got to see the spring locking happening, and you gotta remember that scene is really brutal. A couple people were complaining about the blood, but if you've ever been stabbed, I mean, I have, but if you leave the knife, you can get the same effect with a sandwich bag, fill it with water, and then poke a pencil in it. All right, make sure it goes in and out the back, or you can go just in once. If you just leave it there, it's not leaking blood. So that is the reason why the spring locks weren't like gushing blood how it was like in like the little pixel thing, which people are saying was more gruesome. I completely disagree. Sure, maybe Matthew Lillard could have screamed more, but you know, I think he did great because he was, I think they went more of a realistic approach where it's not less screaming. They were just like, he was going through shock, you know? So yeah, not as much screaming. So it was a little bit more realistic, and I appreciated that. Because you hear those crunches, man. Every time a spring lock went, it was crunch, 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 and then, oh my goodness, I couldn't be happier with that scene, because that was a scene a lot of people were hoping that we would see, and we got it. I honestly have nothing to complain about this movie. Like, everything I did complain about was, like, super minor. Like, and my overall satisfaction with the movie, it had great pacing. It was told the story well and completely completed, you know? I like that they went down the middle route. Instead of just going with only the lore from the games or only the lore from the books, they went a nice middle round, which is what I was hoping for from the movie. Which is the reason why I'm giving it like a, like, if it's not a 9 out of 10, it's like a 10 out of 10, honestly. Because the only thing that makes me want to go like 9 out of 10 is that we didn't see enough of Springtrap. But it's because I think they're setting him up in this movie for the next movie for when he always comes back. Alright? I think the next movies are when he's gonna have a bigger role, like a very massive role. So I'm really hoping for that. So until then, I will do what I do with most movies that I watch. If it's the starter one, I think it was a 10 out of 10 starting movie for the series. I think it was a fantastic intro. There's a couple things I have theories on, like if Vanessa is going to turn into Vanny once she's out of the coma, because she got murked. So I'm wondering if she's going to turn into Vanny. That'll be interesting. I was kind of hoping that she would turn into Vanny when she went back to the place where she said she wasn't. Like, that was one of the minor gripances I had with the movie, is that she didn't instantly become bad due to her brainwashing by William, which I was kind of hoping for, because then I was honest, I was kind of rooting for the good guys to, you know, pass away. But I know that wasn't gonna happen, but the good guys didn't make it out like no injury free. They all got hurt except for Abby, but like that makes sense because she was mainly friends with all of them. So the Golden Freddy Easter egg, was pretty cool when he popped up and he was like, hey, yo, come with me. They had a Sparky the dog Easter egg, I think. People were saying Shadow Freddy was in it. I didn't see Shadow Freddy. I saw Sparky the dog. He's kind of in front. So that was interesting, but yeah, that's going to be the end of my review. I am giving it a nice big 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. For a start, it's like so close to 10, just 10 out of 10. Like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's one of the best video game movies of all time. You know, we've been having they're finally starting to get game to movies, right? You know, because games to movies used to be just as bad as anime to live action. It's not worse. They're finally getting it right. So, and I'm not going to be a strict person on it this time. We'll see. My rating for it might change once the next couple movies come out, but we're going to see. But for now, it's a great start. It's a very good movie. It has great pacing, and it's spooky enough. You know, it's a thriller movie, not a like super big horror movie. So if you go into the mind thinking of it as a thriller and not so much as a horror slasher movie, I think then you'll enjoy it even more, because that's what I went into the movie with, like the mindset. So I think that's why I was able to enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, just go ahead, check it out. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.